What's up guys, welcome to Teen Tech Daily. Today we're going to be playing a fun game using some pretty inexpensive and cool to mess with pieces of technology known as NFC chips. The idea for the game is relatively simple. What we're going to do is we're going to program some NFC chips and place them around our house and our backyard. From there, we're going to have each NFC chip display a hint of sorts to help guide them to the player to the next NFC chip. Eventually, it'll send them to the final destination where we will be waiting to give them their special reward of sorts, even though it's just kind of a game for fun. There's not too high of stakes. So to start off, we have to figure out where we want to place the NFC chips. Since I have about 6 NFC chips, I'm going to have it start at the computer desk. So point 1 will be here. Point 2 will then be, we can put that in the workshop. So point 2 will be there. Point 3 will be in the yard. So we can place a 4th chip there. And the 5th one we can put in the little house across from there, and the 6th will be in a tent right there. So the next step is to figure out what the hints will be. Since we're starting them at number 1, we don't need a hint. To get them to number 2, we need to think about things that are in the workshop. So we have saws, sawhorses, so we can do a hint where, for example, it would say, this is where I would go if I had to build something. And I'll skip ahead until I have all of them done. Alright, so we have all 6 hints sort of figured out. So let's get to programming those NFC chips. So to start off, we have to launch the Samsung TecTiles app. The Samsung TecTiles app is used to program the NFC chip. Since I've used this one that you see here before, I'm going to reset it. So you put the device on top of the chip, and just like that, it's reset. It's very cool. So if this is going to be the second tag, because I've already programmed the first, it has to hint in some way, shape, or form to go to the bunnies. So you create the task, and then from there, you decide what it actually does. So here we have the show a memo feature. And for that, essentially, based off of what I've done before, it'll just display the text that was shown here. What we want to do is we want to write it to a tag. So we do the same thing, we choose the task and put it there. Now to test it, we're going to put the phone there, and it comes up with the memo. That's pretty cool for inexpensive tech. So I'm going to go ahead and program the rest of them, and I'll see you guys soon. So we made a few changes to the plan that I showed you earlier. Instead of using 6 NFC chips, we're going to use a total of 4. We're just going to give them the first and the last hint due to some of our NFC chips being permanently placed elsewhere, and also just to simplify it and make it go a little faster. So with that being said, let's get to placing our NFC chips in the field and get the game going. Alright, so the first chip that we're going to place is the hint to go to where the bunnies are. So I'm kind of doing a vlog style camera just because I have no other means of doing this. So we have the NFC chip here, and we're just going to put that right about here on the bench. And it's pretty easy to find if they look for it. Alright, this is the one that we're going to place outside. So, whoa, that's a lot of overexposure. Okay, now I'm back. So, this is around where we had our baby bunnies earlier this year. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the NFC chip right about there on the pavement. That way it won't get damaged by any moisture in the actual soil, and it's easy to see since it is bright white. Alright, so the next one that we're going to place is the one in the school area. This one's going to be a little harder to find since we're inside. So there's like this little tiny pocket here. So that's where I'm putting it for this scavenger hunt, just to make it a little more interesting and to pose a challenge. And that brings us to the last, and well, what was supposed to be the second to last, but is now the last NFC chip. And this is going to be one of the harder ones to find as well. So we built this little house under our stairs, which you can see here. Now that house is really messy because we haven't really used it for a while. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to have to crawl through the window. Alright, so I'm looking at that cart over there. Now if I can put it in the mess there, so it's still easy to see. It's a little piece of paper down there. So now, that's going to be a little harder to find, which will pose a fun challenge, but it'll also make it a little more difficult to finish this up. So the prize is pretty easy for my sister. She likes to bake, cook, and do a lot of other things. She also likes to be in front of a camera and on stage performing. So for that, I've decided to make the prize one fully produced cooking show. She hasn't started a YouTube channel or anything, but she's always wanted to try and make a little cooking show about her cooking adventures, and I figure it's pretty easy to do with the video skills that I have, as well as it'll just be a fun thing. No matter how good or how bad it turns out, she'll enjoy making it. So it's a pretty good prize, and it's also something very unique. So let's go place that in the tent, and I'm thinking I'm going to put this under one of the mats. Sorry, there was a light there. So yeah, I'm going to put it under an inflatable mattress. So let's get started, shall we? Alright guys, so the rules of the game are simple. The phone that we'll be using is the Samsung Galaxy S3 because of the compatibility it has with the Samsung TecTile interface. This is my sister Amanda. She has no idea what I'm talking about. But the rules are, like I said, very simple. You go around and you have to put the phone against the NFC tag and it'll give you the next hint. Using that hint, you have to go find the other NFC tag. Some of them are hidden, some of them are not. The final prize is not an NFC tag, rather it's actually a piece of paper with the prize written on it, what the prize is. Alright, so for the first time in my life, I'm actually going to give my sister my phone unlocked. And I mentioned earlier that we ran out of NFC chips, so there was supposed to be a starting hint here. However, I'm just going to tell her what the hint would have said, because we did run out of the NFC chips. So here's the phone. What you'll do is you will put the phone up against a NFC chip. They're little white pieces of, they're a sticker, and they have like a blue and white pattern on them.
Are they little?
Yeah, they're about the size of like a square inch, about. So the first hint is where the Beavers work. Which is different than what I said earlier, but think about what Beavers do. They like to work with trees. Trees are wood. Alright, so here we go.
Found it.
And leave it.
Where the bunnies roam. Bunnies roam outside.
You may need to take it inside to see.
School is in session.
It's not in any of those. It's not in the books. Those are holding up our router. They're getting warmer.
Where Harry Potter lived.
I'll give you some hints. It's not on the floor, and it is in a shelf-like object, and it would be on the top shelf or in the top bin. I pretty much just gave you the answer, but it's still going to be difficult to find. Further you get to the right side of the bin, the colder you get.
Time to head back to the tent. It was fun.
So somewhere in the tent is hidden a piece of paper with what the final prize is. It's on the other side of the paper.
I want a cooking show episode. Cupcakes.
Alright, I got my phone back finally. So how was that?
It was fun.
So that just shows you what you can do with NFC to have a little more fun. And as I said, we'll have a more detailed review of the Samsung TecTiles coming in the future. This video is already a little long, so it'll probably be another episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you thought it sucked, leave a comment below letting us know what you want to see next, and be sure to subscribe for more content and share if you thought this was an interesting idea. Thank you.